So after learning Ujjayi Pranayama, the method of doing Ujjayi Pranayama, we can now add different pranayamas. Well, the next thing that I would teach would be Kumbhaka. Kumbhaka after inhalation. So Kumbhaka means suspending the breath. It doesn't mean hold the breath, it means suspend, which means we stop breathing. Simple. In fact, don't hold your breath. See, what happens when you hold the breath, you become rigid, you become solid, and this requires muscles, you get tired. But if you just stop breathing, you're much more relaxed. You can keep the Kumbhaka much longer without tension in the body. So again, we're trying to teach all this with control and relaxation. So you just inhale. So no strain. What would we also need to do in Kumbhaka? So just a quick note. Kumbhaka, there's a few places where we can use Kumbhaka. Usually Kumbhaka is first taught after inhalation. The inhale, Kumbhaka. Can also be done after the exhalation. Okay. As I said, generally taught after inhalation first. There is some things that can go wrong if we do it after exhalation, if we don't have the correct method. It can put a lot of strain on your heart. If we're using too much force or we're not sitting correctly, and everything becomes tight, it clamps the lungs around the heart. Heart has difficulty to pump, and so people can have heart problems from doing too strong Kumbhaka after exhalation, or an incorrect Kumbhaka after exhalation. So again, it needs to be relaxed. You exhale. So still comfortably in my upper body, everything can still move, there's still pliability there, so the heart can pump as it normally should do. Again, if you make too much tightness and it blocks, the heart also is affected. So be aware of that. So another thing about Kumbhaka is that after inhalation, we now introduce Jalandhara Bandha. So Jalandhara Bandha is a chin lock. You lower the chin and rest it ideally on the notch between the collarbones. So to reach the collarbones, there's a few things that need to be done. First would be the inhalation. So now we've lifted the chest up, we've expanded the chest, and the next is to lower the chin. Okay, so the lowering of the chin isn't reaching the chin down. It's not pulling down to try and reach. That would strain the ligaments in the neck. So we'd be straining the ligaments in the neck. Again, the movement would come from the ears lowering down. So we have this movement coming from the ears, and that would draw the flesh and not actually engage muscles. Again, the muscles would not be contracting, but lengthening, and then we could reach the head down. One of the other probably important places would be the hyoid bone. So we have a bone just here, around the Adam's apple, floating bone called the hyoid bone, which would if we start looking, would be another dantian. So if we just get a feeling we're just going to swallow, just and lower, we'd be actually folding the chin in the correct place. So the first thing to do would be to inhale, a little swallowing, and bring the chin down. And so this would allow us to keep the neck muscles relaxed, the ligaments relaxed, and be able to reach forward without any strain in the neck. And also produce a very comfortable Chandahara bandha. So very important. So let's just do a couple of rounds. So first you'd sit, you'd exhale, and then you'd start inhaling. Etc., etc. So what I've done is inhaled, pulled just lifted a little slight action in the hyoid bone of the Adam's apple, lowered the chin. When I come up, I lift the head, relax, and then exhale. So this would be the process of breathing and doing Kumbhaka. Again, the length of the cycle can vary. So generally I would breathe in for, say, 10. At the beginning, the Kumbhaka would be 10, the exhalation would be 10. But then you could vary it. You could do 10, 20, 20, 10, 20, 40, 10, 40, 20. Whatever you feel comfortable with in your breathing, you do. And there's no great rules about it. There's so many teachers and many teachers have different methods. So you can't say which one is right, which one is wrong. What is right is that when you're breathing in, you never strain. You want to be relaxed. You don't want to finish your Kumbhaka and have to let the air go out or suddenly on the inhale. It means you're doing too much. So make sure it's as long as possible, but also comfortable. So hopefully this helps you out with your Jaya Pranayama.